Recording a movement moment on Wednesday, December 9th. Some old faces and some new faces. Super exciting. As usual, we're going to do a little breathing exercise. Always try to incorporate 5 minutes of breathing before we move. And also, the whole point of these is to give you little, just ideas of ways to move your body. They're not prescriptive. They're not like do 15 reps 30 times a day. It's just like any chunk of this that you like, or you're like, oh, that makes me feel better, do it throughout your day. Do it. So to start, we're going to stand up, and what I want you to do, I'll guide you through it, but basically you just stand in whatever way is comfortable. So put your feet at a distance where you feel solid, stable, connected to the ground. And really try to pay attention to the weight in your feet. Heather and I talked about this recently. So yeah, just feel it out first before I say anything. So feel where the weight is in your feet when you just stand comfortably. Probably it shifts because we're stuck on this massive spinning marble in space. And so we shift. We're not always in this perfect, very still position. We're moving, we're shifting. And we're gonna do our best to just breathe through our nose this whole time. And I'm gonna start this timer. So 5 minutes, and we're going to breathe in a nice, slow way. So in through your nose, out through your nose, and really try to picture the air going in and whatever pathway you feel. So in through your throat, down into your chest space, and really try to draw it down all the way into your low back and hips. So again, whatever that means for you, if you feel movement, that's awesome. If you don't, that's fine, but just picture it. And then it goes back up through your back, up through your chest, out through your throat, into space again through your nose. So your pace, but trying to make it nice and deep. And as you picture that, this is a really great exercise for if you feel tense or painful in your body ever. Just taking a couple minutes to do this can really help bring your nervous system down into a calmer place. Even if you don't feel anxious, when we're in pain, that part of our nervous system is aggravated. So you want to try to calm it down, and bringing the air all the way down into your back and hips just helps you expand your diaphragm as much as possible, which is always so good. And so now wherever your focus is, try to bring it back to your feet. And as much as you can, try to evenly distribute the weight between your heels, the balls of your feet. So sort of around your big toe and then around your pinky toe, that two different sides of that sort of ball of your foot, little tripod. And keeping that weight distribution as much as possible. Notice what happens to the rest of your body. You might have to adjust things to not sort of fall over or to feel comfortable. And keep taking your deep breaths. Just noticing, one, what it feels like in your feet, but also that shift in your body position. It can tell you a lot of maybe where a healthy position is, because we do want that even distribution. We learn to do other things based on our individual patterns, and that's totally cool. You do what you got to do, but if you can take time in your day to stand in this way, it can really, again, show where things maybe need to shift. For example, I round forward a lot, and to compensate, I put all the weight on my heels and push my knees really far back so that I can stand up straight and my eyes can be at horizon level. But if I shift the weight, then I start to fall forward. So I have to bend my knees a little bit, put my hips forward, lengthen my spine up, and be taller. And that is just better for my spine. So it's an interesting shift. And so it's just fun to get curious about what your body does when you stand in this different way. Or maybe this is how you always stand, and that's great. You can also notice side to side if you're putting more weight in one foot or the other, and what it feels like to even it out that way also. Just the last few breaths here, taking still nice slow deep breaths, checking in, making sure your shoulders are soft and your jaw is not clenched. And take one more deep breath in. And on your exhale, you can open your eyes if they were closed and shimmy your body and move and let all that body thinking go. Yeah. And find your way down onto the ground if you want. Again, if you don't want, you can do all of this up against a wall. We're going to do wrist and forearm stuff because we type too much and we text too much. So this will be a good little, we're going to do Susan's favorite activity, finger flicks, to warm up. So just whatever position is comfortable for now, we're just going to flick our fingers. Some of you have done this with me before. And really like powerful, like you want to get all the water off of your fingers, or you're trying to like send energy or scare something away. I don't know, but make it really active, like you're really using your finger muscles, and you'll start to feel your forearms get warm and tired. Like this should get kind of hard to do pretty quickly. Oh, my forearms are already burning. It's like the biggest workout of our lives. I promised this wasn't going to be cardio, but who knows? Keep it up just for a few more seconds. You can do it. Tanya looks like this is no problem. Bam. Whoo, okay. Couple more. Oh man, what? Good, beautiful. Okay, and now you can shake it off if you want. I'm gonna shake it off. And then we're gonna make big circles with our wrists. So your forearms will move, they'll pronate and supinate, which just means they go like up and down. And you're just making figure eights, circles, like literally whatever, as long as you're going nice and slow and trying to get through every range. Like explore what your wrists do. I'll tell you, they do this and they do this like side to side thing. So you can combine all those movements and just get nice, big, again, whatever shape. I'm doing figure eights because that is what's happening. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just trying to get them moving. Again, big, nice and slow. Trying to go beyond like the normal range you're usually used to doing. So it might be a little bit like this kind of feels a little uncomfortable. It's okay as long as it's not sharp pain. And then reverse whatever you were doing is probably what your brain is like comfortable with. So try to do the opposite. I just can't. Ooh, it is hard, but it's good for your brain and for your wrists. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. A couple more here, really warming them up, really exploring what they do. Also, when you do things like this, nice and slow and like big, you can often feel like little spots, that you're like, I don't know, that feels funny. And it's just good to notice that and even sort of go through that range of like maybe a little bit of discomfort repeatedly, and it might just go away. And that's like you just rehabbed yourself and you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so now we're gonna let that go. And now we're gonna go onto the floor for reals, tabletop style. So if this is comfortable, if this is uncomfortable, again, up against a wall is cool, or just back off, like put more weight in your knees than on your wrists. But if you can, stacking your shoulder over your wrists. And from here, we're just gonna rock side to side. And again, so start out maybe a smaller motion, but then try to lean as far as you can, keeping your palm like rooted into the ground and your fingers all down. Once your finger starts to lift up, that's like the end of where I want you to go for this. So just rocking back and forth. And then you're gonna start to rock back and forth. So making a smaller angle there, your wrists, and then back, taking off the pressure. Just give it a little second, and then back to squeezing, putting pressure on your wrists like this. When you're like in this safe position and you feel like you're paying attention to what's going on, is really, really good to stimulate it's called synovial fluid. It's the fluid that lubricates our joints. When we put nice pressure on it like this, that is sort of stimulated to, increase production, whatever. Like it lubricates your joints. It's really nice. It's a nice thing to do for your wrists that works so hard for you. Okay, now we're going to take our hands and put them pointing away, like fingertips pointing away from each other, like that. And we're going to go back to the first thing, so side to side. Rocking side to side. Again, once you're, like the way you're leaning, that palm will start to lift off at a certain point. Try to keep it nice and flat on the ground. Pushing into that like edge of discomfort. If it feels painful, you back off. But it's good to push our edges and just let our brain know that we can actually move into these positions safely. And that way, smaller ranges of motion aren't scary, and then you don't get pain, unnecessary pain. So we're like, brain, this is cool. Look what we can do. Good. Okay, and now some back and forth. Beautiful. And last one, fingertips pointing towards you. So this one can be quite intense, but it's a really great forearm stretch. So as you can, putting your wrists in a very strange position, and then lean, again, gentle with this one. Be sure it feels good and safe. You can push that edge, but just carefully lean back so that you're getting this deep stretch in the forearms. Should feel quite intense, and you can come in and out of it a little bit, a couple times. See if you can go a little bit farther each time, or just stay in a range that feels good. Oh man, that's intense. And slowly lifting, like sitting back onto your heels so that you come off. And just give your wrists, you can put your hands together in a little ball and just make a fun shape, whatever shape feels good, figure eights, circles, and then reverse the direction. Still can't do it. Oh, wrist love. You should be able to feel your wrists, like feel them. They feel something. Okay, we're gonna do one more thing before our time is up. So back into, shake them off back into tabletop. Now that our wrists are like freaking ready for anything, we're gonna start playing with our shoulder blades. So this is another thing we want to do super slowly so that we can feel where there's restrictions and then just work through those positions. So we're gonna drop our spine down as much as possible. So you're basically bringing your shoulder blades together, but let gravity do the work. You don't have to squeeze really hard. Just let it sort of happen. And then keeping your spine down like that, down towards the ground, shift yourself forward so your shoulder blades drop down your spine. So your shoulders are as far away from your ears as possible. And from this position, we're going to push up so your spine, our shoulder blades are coming farther and farther away from each other. Spine is coming up into this like cat position. So your ears are as far away from your ears as your shoulders are as far away from your ears as possible. And your spine is pressing up between your shoulder blades. From that position, we're going to come back. So your head is coming back towards your bum. Your shoulders are going up towards your ears. You're still pressing your spine up towards the ceiling. So you're like shrugging as much as possible and pressing your spine up. And then from here, we're going to drop our spine back. So ears and shoulders are close together. Spine is coming down. Shoulder blades squeezing together. Feels weird. And then pressing forward again. So you're basically just making these big circles with your shoulder blades. And again, this doesn't have to be really prescriptive. If you're like, what are you talking about? Just try to just make circles with your shoulder blades at the same time. So at certain points you're in cat, like you're pressing your spine up towards the ceiling and moving your shoulder blades up or down, and then dropping your spine and moving your shoulder blades up or down your back. A couple of those, and then reverse direction. If this is making no sense, you can poke your head up and tell me, I can explain again. But again, just kind of play. Oh, is that a Misha? We can start from neutral. We're going to drop spine between shoulder blades and then bring your shoulder blades down your back as far as you can and then press up. So your spine comes up and then your shoulder blades go towards your ears and then you drop down and shoulder blades go back. And then you press up, shoulder blades come forward, press down, shoulder blades go back. Yeah, nice. Couple more. If you want to switch directions again, just this time you can kind of pick up the pace if you want, feeling out how it gets maybe easier as you do it. Or if you're like me, it still feels pretty crunchy, but it feels good. Good. And coming back onto your heels, giving your wrists some love. And do this again. Man, I broke a sweat. I said there was going to be no cardio, and I'm like, I'm sorry if anyone sweat and they were told they wouldn't sweat. That is my mistake. But it's good. It's good for our bodies. All right, and then we're going to end like we always do with my favorite little stress cleanser where we take 3 deep breaths in a special way. So deep breath in and bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Hold up at the top, really squeeze. And on your exhale, let them drop super floppy. Yeah. Again. And last one, a little bit different. Breathe in, squeeze extra, like really get all these muscles firing so that they can extra relax after. And on your exhale, bring them nice down and back, chest forward, nice and tall, ready for your day. And then always a shimmy. That's it. That's all, friends. Thanks for showing up. You can just like pop off. I know people have busy days. No need to do anything. It's over. You did it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So good to meet you all. Bye, friends.
That was awesome, Steph. Thank you so much for that. I feel amazing.
Good. I'm so glad. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So good
Yeah.
to see you.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.